Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Islands of War devlog. In today's devlog, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be finishing up some of the items that we started on last week. Some of the sounds are wrong, some of the properties need to be implemented, bugs everywhere. As you have probably already seen from the video title, we're going to be doing some music stuff. We're going to be composing some battle/boss music, and so we'll see how that goes, but let's dive right into this. The first thing we've gone ahead and done is we've changed some of the weapon sounds. We've added new sounds for all our different weapons, like our bow weapons and whatnot. And so I'll just go through the weapons, whose sounds I added, and yeah. You know what? I think those are a little bit overpowered. I've changed this bomb to be more cluster bomb-like. Flame weapons took me forever to get right because of the relative velocity and stuff like that, but I think I've mostly figured it out. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from items and enemies and all of this stuff. I'm going to work on some music. So yeah, here's me working on some boss soundtracks and some enemy soundtracks. Initially, I just wanted combat music, but as I developed it more and more, it became clear that this is not ordinary combat music. This is some grand boss music. Now, I'm starting off by just playing with some themes, you know, for some combat, something with a little bit of energy in it. So I'm just going to be playing with some themes on my keyboard. Now I know what you're thinking. Combat music? This is too peaceful. And yes, I was playing around with some peaceful themes here, so I thought I might as well just stick them in. But the combat music is coming up. So, you know, I've been playing around with some themes, but it's at this point where the boss element comes in. I am really liking this monotonic left hand that I'm doing, so I'm keeping that part in. So I've got a general idea of what I want to do. I've already got a melody and some themes that I have. So now I'm just going to start stacking instruments on top of each other. We get strings, we get brass instruments. I really haven't played around with brass instruments a lot. It gives an epic feel that I really haven't played around with before, and I'm really happy with it. Here I'm adding emphasis with these staccato strings, just to give it a little bit of flavor and rhythm. Now, with the intro out of the way, we move on to the juicy part of the piece, the part where I can use my trumpets and trombones and all my brass instruments to really give the power that I want either the player or, the boss to feel, depending on which way the battle's going. This is just one instrument, it already sounds amazing. Now for the melody. Now, would it really be epic without the bassy voices of 1,000 men oohing as you destroy the final boss? And what use is 1,000 voices echoing in the background if you do not have war drums? And what use are your war drums if you do not max out their bass? And that sounds cool and all, but if you take away the drum sounds, it sounds like this. So let's not do that. Now this pretty much is all the footage I took, but I did spend the next couple of hours polishing it up. I'll play the soundtrack at the end of the video with some gameplay just to, see how it feels and see how it does. But that's all for the music production for now, and back to development. So I've given the bosses all of their different colossal items based on the different realms, so we're just gonna quickly take a look and check out the bosses and see what they look like. Okay, chain gun boss doesn't do chain gun things. We're gonna need to fix that eventually. And it looks like colossal weapons can spawn next to each other, or can be placed next to each other, which, well, that's not so great. Whoa, that guy fires very fast. Oh man, that's really fast. That might as well just be a railgun. Looks like dual chain gun guy has the same problems as normal chain gun guy, which is not actually chaining their gun. Oh man, that rocket's really hard to dodge. Unless, like, it actually gets dodged. What I need to do now is I need to support multiple points of interest on the weapon. So for example, guns that have 2 barrels, I need to know exactly where those 2 barrels are. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through these items and finding out exactly where the points of interest are. Then I'm going to be storing them into my data sheet, and then I'm going to be putting that back into the game, and then we're going to code a little bit and see how it works. So I've finished adding in all of the points of interest on the weapons, so that each weapon can have different places where it's going to be firing and creating its projectiles. This is the twin shot. Now, this is a new weapon, but not new in that I hadn't actually imported the sprite in, and it looks like this. As you can see, there are clearly 2 bullets coming out from it. It fires parallel to each other. I think it's going to work very, very nicely. And then I'll just fire off the other weapons. And that is that. Overall, details look really nice. I have just gotten access to the Game Maker Studio 2 2.3.0 beta. Basically, there's a whole bunch of amazing changes with code, with sequences, with cool stuff, and I want to play around with it. I really want to play around. Oh, yeah. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to play around with this for quite a bit. I'll check back in once I have things figured out. So I've been playing around with the new Game Maker Studio 2 beta, and after playing around with it pretty much all day, I've tried to, import Islands of War into it, and thankfully it creates a new project, so everything is still nice and tidy. I still have a working version of the game, but man, this is a lot of errors. These are a lot of errors that I'm gonna have to sort through. But as I've been going through, it's going to take a lot of work to get the game up to speed. A lot of new features were added, things like try and catch, things like structs or functions or methods. There are a lot of things that I want to play around with, but in the meantime, I'm going to hold off because we still have an update to finish. We still have the enemies and items update that is still not yet finished for everyone else. So I'm going to finish that update, and then we're going to move on to reworking all of our code, making our code look nice and spick and span, and, well, I was gonna say well documented, but solo dev, well documented is not very high on my priority. But better structured, I hope. Much, much better structure than this cacophony of variables running through, and yeah. Yes. So, back to working on the normal game. So I just had a discussion with some of you on Discord regarding movement items, and movement items, not dropping, not being... movement's a very core part of the game, and sometimes you get runs where you can't move, where you're a brick, you're stuck with basic items. So what I've decided on, what we kind of decided on together, bosses pretty much guarantee a movement item drop. This is Realm 5, and the Realm 5 boss can either give me an Advanced Drifter or an Advanced Slammeron. So I have the boss here, and I'm gonna kill him, and he better drop me one of those two things. And yay, we got it! We got our Advanced Slammeron. So it's working. Now we have guaranteed movement drop. I'm not playing with explosion damage and core death. I kind of want the feel of being able to chain enemy deaths together. So you blow one guy up, the guy falls down, lands on another guy, that guy explodes, and chaos reigns supreme. So I'm kind of playing with it. However, I'm realizing something. If we just blow this guy up here. So what happened is the explosion, the moment the explosion was created, it damaged everything within the radius of the explosion, and then the animation slowly expanded outwards, so it kind of looks funny. I'll play that again in slow motion. The explosion kind of expands outwards, but the damage is done before the explosion gets there, which kind of looks a little bit funny. I think theoretically, I've fixed the explosions so that it slowly explodes outward and damages the blocks as it goes along. We'll see if it works. It worked, except it was a little bit staggered. Simple tweak. Let's see if it works if the explosion damage radius scales faster than the animation speed. That looked good. That looked very good. And of course, if you take the explosion damage, you can always heal it back up. Next thing I want to do is to add to the chaos. I want enemies to be able to fall on top of each other, and to be able to fall on top of you when they're dead. So you really have to pay attention to where you're going, where enemies are going. What is the problem with this? Why are you're like ripping my entire island in half. It's not supposed to be the case. What is this? So I've given my island a rather swanky looking top hat so that, you know, when enemies fall on me, I can visualize, you know, how much damage are they doing, how much are they hurting. Yeah, so let's get enemies to follow me. I fixed it. Just come here. Ah, oh, garbage, he shot my hat. And you're supposed to land on my hat, my friend. Oh, this guy. He's got an exposed Photron. This should be easy. There we go. Stop shooting my precious hat. And I blew him up. So much damage exposure. Oh, okay. I just blew up my hat. If we're gonna give ourselves a new hat, might as well give ourselves a different hat. What's a nice like brownish color? Here we go. Cowboy hat. That's a cowboy hat. Let's yeehaw this guy out of existence. Don't shoot my cowboy hat. Fall on my cowboy hat. That's been it for today's devlog. I hope you enjoyed it. To end off this video, let's see how much death and destruction we can brew with our new death explosions and our enemies falling on each other. I've been Jwigs, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.